Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going over Commander's video. His defense is... well, he's got some placement issues. If you want to see some of this stuff behind the scenes, be sure to find me on Twitch. Thursdays and Tuesdays, 9 to noon on the West Coast. We do this stuff live. We have a lot of fun doing it. A lot of people in chat always making fun of me for when I make mistakes. And if you want to make fun of me for making mistakes in real time, then come and find me on Twitch. What we do here, though, is we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Team number 1 is hot garbage. This is a Kree team. Kree is absolute bottom of the barrel. I think they're down there with Hand and maybe the Guardians of the Galaxy, too. Guardians of the garbage can, if you ask me. So she's got Kree synergy, but she's a great plug and play character, and you're wasting her on this team. Just field this team. It doesn't matter about their ISOs. It doesn't matter about power levels or anything. It's just something more than shield guards because you didn't want to waste good members on offensive, good offensive parts. So you just field a garbage team. But Minerva has value, and so don't waste her on a hot filler team. So I would normally just give you like the standard A for just putting up a filler team. But you're wasting this character here, and that really offends me at a deep level. So I'm going to give you a C for this team. Moving on. Team number 2 is the OG Sinister Six. This is how I like to see Sinister Six teams. I don't like to see Doc Ock on this team because Doc Ock is a very powerful character, and you'll see he's actually used pretty well in a later team here. And I don't like seeing him on this team because this team has some very hard counters to it, namely those speed metas. And especially when you have like an underdeveloped Sinister Six characters and then you throw in a great big Doc Ock, he can get steamrolled. Now, a lot of people don't know how to beat that team, and so it still gets DVs, and then they leave that stupid solo Doc Ock on the field and everybody stumbles over it. So it still could work. It's just when you start getting real competitive in your wars, you're going to find everybody knows how to beat the wonky power level OG the Sinister Six with Doc Ock. So I like it this way. Let's see what we can do to improve this team. Raider is okay. Skirmisher is okay. I like Striker better, and then having other skirmishers on the field. That way he goes in as a striker, double taps that vulnerable, clears positive effects. But, having him clear positive effects with the skirmisher ISO works too. Striker is all right here. I think he's a better candidate for skirmisher. I like him as a skirmisher or raider, and I like her as a raider or a skirmisher. So these are okay. They're in the ballpark. I think we should change these two to skirmisher and change him to a striker. However, the team's trash, man. Don't waste your ISOs on it. Leave it how it is. I'm just going to dock you points for wasting on those ISOs, in my opinion. So I'm going to give you a B for this team. I don't really want you to do anything. I just want others to learn from your mistakes. Leave it as it is. Hopefully we get like a Kraven the Hunter. They rework the team, and then they're going to be like OP, awesome kind of thing. But I was a little underwhelmed with their performance. Okay, and I just skip a team. I just moved a team. Whoops, here we go. Slide that around. That's 2. Oh, wow. We're doing the shuffle here. Okay, team number 3 is the Guardians of the Garbage Can with Loki. Now, Loki has value. Loki isn't a character you need to invest in, but he has value because the way he adjusts turn meter, you can do a lot of things with him on both offense and defense. I don't like seeing him on this team. He doesn't add any value to this team because these guys aren't Mystic controllers. They're tech and a bio. Or 2 bio and 2 tech, actually. So what I like to see when you use Guardians of the Galaxies, I like to see 2 people that are not Guardian characters. And then I like to see Star-Lord on the outside as a striker next to Rocket as a striker next to Groot as a skirmisher. And that striker-skirmisher combo works out that you get triple and quadruple hit combos off of that 3-piece because the way they call Groot in for the assist, and then them being strikers. However, if you're going to run the full team, Star-Lord is better as a skirmisher, that is his native ISO, and Rocket is Raider, it's his native ISO. But I don't like using them on the full team. I think they're more impactful as a 3-piece with better tunes over here. Drax has value because he's a pre-taunting tank, and the Guardian tag, he gets called in for an assist sometimes on this team, and he kind of sucks on this team, so I don't think we should be using Drax here. Let's get rid of Loki. Let's get rid of Drax. Throw in some other plug-and-play trash characters. I don't know. You could throw in Ultron or something. I like Ultron reserved for villain tech teams and cleanup teams on offense too, but I don't know, whatever works. You could throw in absolute garbage if you want. Hell, throw in Minerva in here. I don't know. Throw like Minerva and Vision. That way the tech characters are getting the defense up on spawn. Minerva's helping keeping them alive. That's probably a better thing to do. Let's go with that. And then you could change those ISOs to get that quadruple hit combo. For me, this is kind of a junk filler team, and you're wasting Loki. That's the thing that bothers me the most, is that he's valuable elsewhere. So I'm giving you a C for this team. Moving on. Whoops, I screwed these up, so I got to go around. Okay, there's team number 4. I'll probably go back to team number 3 because I'll forget by the time I get there. That's just who I am. All right, AIM. AIM is old news. It's a filler team. I used to use them on offense to clean up on OG Sinister Six. Like, they can punch up 150k on an OG Sinister Six team. So I would use AIM against those. That's the only reason you want to use AIM on offense, really. There might be some other stuff. If you guys have good ideas of what to use AIM, put them down in the comments. But for me, it's a junk filler defense team. I like putting all the minions in the middle because they all have adjacent stuff, except for Researcher. Researcher does adjacent to the person that she heals. So she can be anywhere you want. But I like to take Graviton and put him over here in the corner and then put all 3 minions in the middle because they all have adjacent stuff that they do. And let's do Healer on AIM Security. That's correct. Skirmisher on whatever this person's name is, that's correct. Striker on Monstrosity, correct. Graviton can be Striker or Raider, and she is a healer. I like that. So the ISOs are good. I just want a placement tweak, and I'll give you an A for that team. As is, I'll go A- on them. Also, I do like Researcher better than Monstrosity, but you're kind of splitting hairs there. I told you I'd forget. Team number 5 is the Web Warriors. The only thing I don't like about this is your placement. I want to see Ghost Spider and Scarlet Spider in the back row. So if they die, you've got gap placement on the front row, or you can put them to the outside as they are hot targets. Do not put them next to each other. That's like my first target is Ghost Spider. I want her dead so she stops retaliating. Yeah, that's the only thing I got going on with this. Otherwise, I like your ISOs. I like everything you're doing here. So I'm just going to say placement change, A- for that. Team number 6 is the Mercs. This one offends me. I'm a big fan of the Mercs, even though they're a super old team and we shouldn't be investing in them. You need to change placement here. What I want to see is... Okay, let's go... He doesn't need healing. Okay, let's go Taskmaster, Merc Lieutenant, Merc Riot Guard, Killmonger, then Shuri. That's the placement order. He has adjacent healing. When a person adjacent to him is hit, he does some healing to the lowest health person on the team. So having nobody off the corner of him is a total waste. Well, I guess it's a 50% waste of his ability, right? I do like that you've got Skirmisher on Taskmaster and Striker on these two. I'd like to see Striker on Killmonger. His native ISO is a Raider, so I know that's a tough choice. If you don't want to do that, there are other builds that you can use Killmonger and Shuri for, and you can swap in Ultimus and maybe Korath or Bullseye. Bullseye actually has value. He's terrible everywhere else, so there's no reason to build him. But on this team, he actually works really well because of his synergy with these two guys and how fast he'll open up. And he actually has some pretty good high-end damage. He multiplies pretty well. But man, I hate investing in Bullseye, right? I mean, what a junk character. Anyway, give me a placement change. Give me a tweak to this ISO. I'll give you an A. But for now, this is a B. Team number 7, Wave 1 Avengers. Perfect placement. I love the characters. Power levels are great. You went healer across the board, and I mean, one thing that this team does really well, it can frustrate people when you have Hulk and Captain America left over. They just keep taunting and healing up and you can't kill them. But that doesn't matter. Like, these guys do other things and they're going to be dead at that point in time. So having them as a healer doesn't contribute to that scenario. We want to have either, let's see, I like Black Widow as a skirmisher because she gets call-outs on her other team, the skill military team. So I like having her as a skirmisher and Hawkeye as a raider for the skirmisher striker combo. I'm sorry, as a striker for the skirmisher striker combo. When you sub out Black Widow to use her on that skilletary team, I like Hawkeye as a raider because he's got some raider built into his kit, some extra crit damage or something like that. So when Black Widow's here, I like to see Skirmisher Striker. When Black Widow is subbed out, you want to put in somebody like Heimdall because he has synergy with Thor and keeps Thor from being blinded. And then you would make Hawkeye a Raider. Thor should be a raider, not a striker. Not a striker. Definitely not a healer. Like, come on, not a healer. A lot of people like to do Thor as a striker, and I don't like him as a striker. I like him as a raider. He has AoE chain attacks galore, and you get lots of vulnerables on the field for people like a striker, Hawkeye to double tap into, or if you were to run Coulson on this team, you could run Coulson as a striker, and he has rewind off his basic. He's a great striker for this team when you have some vulnerables on the field. So I don't like the healer ISO. I always feel like putting healer on everybody is something people do when they don't understand how ISO 8 works. And healer is one of the weakest ISO 8 choices in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with a B on that team. I think you're wasting a lot on that. Team number 8 is a PimTech team. Everything going right with this team except for the placement. What I want to see is I want to see Yellow Jacket in the middle, surrounded by Ghost and Wasp, because they're the dodgiest of the dodgy. And then you're going to have Ant-Man on one side and Stature on the other side, doing the taunts to the outside. That's your perfect placement. Otherwise, your ISOs are great. Your power levels are okay. I think you kind of overinvested in this team a little bit, but maybe you got that PimTech lane and that's what you had to do. If you don't have the PimTech lane, I highly recommend you build Ghost and don't touch the rest of the team. Just use Ghost as a plug and play character and then leave the rest in the trash bin. There is arguably some value in Yellow Jacket, but I will not argue for it. I think he's trash. Moving on, team number 9. This is the Marauder. Yeah, this is the Marauders with Doc Ock on it. I love Doc Ock on this team. Like with the 4 Marauder people and then throwing in Doc Ock. However, I'd like to see you swap places with Mystique and Doc Ock. Let's put those deflects on Strife. Strife is kind of the linchpin of this team. You got to get through him to get to the rest of them. Okay, so let's make Strife a fortifier. He has barrier in his kit. He uses it very well. I am getting tired of saying that. I need to just start skipping it. I like barrier. Let's get him up to gear tier 14 also. You know, I mean, don't really do that unless you really want to. It's hard to invest in Strife, right? He's not really good anywhere else. But yeah, I think we should. I mean, ideally, I'd like to see him gear tier 14, level 5 fortifier, and then he's just super tough to get through. You put those deflects on him with Doc Ock, and you get the deflects going on to Sinister, and then Sinister spreads the deflects to the rest of the team. Emma doesn't need that. She's usually... I mean, I guess there is a case to be made putting extra deflects on Emma, hoping that an ability block doesn't stick to her. There is that case. And then you're getting the deflects on Sinister, who's spreading him to the rest of the team and Strife anyways. Okay, there's legitimate reason to this. All right, I'll let it stand. I'll give you an A for this team. No, I'm not going to give you an A for this team. You went healers on everybody again. Mystique is a skirmisher or a raider. I prefer skirmisher, and then fortifier on him. So I'm going to give you an A- for that healer across the board. My goodness. Okay, team number 10 is the H for H team. Hey, look at this. Commander 1 is ahead of the curve. He moved Luke Cage off of the corner. Can anybody in chat tell me why we're moving Luke Cage off of the corner? That's right, chat. It's from the Dark Hunters. The Dark Hunters put that resistance on Luke Cage and then chain all the way across. So you take Luke Cage off of the outside and they can no longer put that disrupt on him. I mean, they can if they want to, but man, they could get screwed if Morbius chains the wrong direction. Like, can you imagine? Oh, I disrupted Luke Cage and then put the trauma on Shang-Chi, but the rest of the team just comes back for the kill. Yeah, so this is great placement. I like the ISOs. Alternatively, you could run Iron Fist as a skirmisher or a raider. Skirmisher to put out another vulnerable, raider for the crit damage on his big punch. I just don't like the healer, because every team that goes into this uses ability or heal block. Like all the counters use heal block, except for I think Infinity Watch doesn't use it primarily. They still do a little bit, but anyway. Yeah, I don't like healer on this. He does get some value out of it, but make sure you're putting fortifier on Luke Cage just like this, because Luke Cage is a terrible healer, and he dies and revives, and you come back with barrier, which is going to give you more benefit than any of those rejuves, which usually don't even take place. All in all, I think this is a great build. I'm going to give you an A for it. Coming up soon after the Morbius event, I will be docking people for not moving Luke Cage off the outside. He needs to start going off the outside as people start showing up with the Dark Hunter team, even though that Dark Hunter team is not proving to be as reliable as we'd like them to be. Like they basically lose 20% of the time, even on punch across territory. It's kind of frustrating. So anyway, this has been Commander One's Defense Up video. If you'd like your defense featured on Defense Up, links are in the description. While you're down there, hit that like button. It really helps me out. You might notice that I'm coming very close to crossing that 1,000-person subscriber mark, and apparently that does things for me. People say it's important, so hit that subscribe button for me, would you? And remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.